Okay, the entity is currently sounding sirens, which is criminal summoning. Everybody at Alvarado Gardens, this is systematic engagement in that life-threatening conduct while the government's placing you under surveillance. That's why they're all going to federal prison. They're anticipating my exit out of my office. The light source is still here. This is the same light source that was literally on this side of my person, as I pointed out this morning, and it's here. Hours later, it is 5:11 p.m. You're going to remember what the Fontana Police Department were doing under that which is not the sun. That's exactly what the Los Angeles Police Department is doing under that which is not the sun. That's state surveillance, and that is tethering what is very, yeah, that's the demon. He's going to federal prison. That's 8MNF 488. While the entity engages in clapping helicopter activity, a demon always in relevant position, they're going to federal prison. That's a white Volkswagen crossing path. Under the light source, she's going to federal prison. She lives here. They're going to federal prison. They come onto the grounds to participate in the criminal act. Remember, as I open the office door, the entity is amplifying plane activity. I hear helicopter clapping. I hear sirens. This is a demon that's coming onto the grounds, stalking in the path in the specific environment. That license plate is identifying a third party who is going to federal prison. Let me be clear. The entity thinks that it can engage in putting a paper plate or some other person's license plate. Whoever is documented, whoever is identified with that license plate, and the means whereby you try to avoid being identified. This is the federal government who you do not want to lie to. You're going to federal prison, period. Okay, so I want to make sure that I point that out. This is a highly corrupt entity that is has from the outset tried to avoid the ways in which I've been documenting them. That is criminal presence under all circumstances in relevant position. I also want to document this license plate. This is the Asian male who likes to use his minor child while engaging in what is criminal summoning. He's on the grounds. This was monitoring AENJ660. He's going to federal prison. I already documented him before. This is impunity while he's in relevant position on the grounds of the property. Killsaw is a demon. You've already seen her crossing path and engineer light moving across building 1802. Putting a bag on the ground, walking back to her vehicle is a demon that's repeatedly crossing path while the entity is sounding sirens and sounding helicopter activity, monitoring both sides of me, of my person, while that demon in the Volkswagen was here and she's over here. This is how these demons are surrounding. And they're all doing this all sort of ambush conduct by demons when you're not paying attention, when you're ignorant about the environment, when you're ignorant about the significance of their behavior. They're moving around. They're demons that want to engage in all kind of movement all around in the engineered light. Okay, and that's why you do things like have engineered light on your ceiling. While a third party, demon possessed third party, will under no circumstances, I don't care how old they are, I don't care how much they heal over, when they have impossible light activity moving across the wall, that is indeed a demon. Okay, that's called impunity as well. That's terrorism, and that's impossible light activity while your shadow is appearing moving across a wall. That's the pattern of conduct. That's the malice of the entity. Okay, that's identifying a demon-possessed person, not somebody that's going around outwardly appearing as whatever you would call weird or clearly disturbed. They're clearly disturbed under a light source. That's what they are. 7FRS 309, that's another demon. He's engaging in what is crossing path, and he likes to engage in what is crossing path and engineer light move all across the parking lot, okay? He's driving an engineer light under the light source, and the Los Angeles Police Department, that's the state, is maintaining activity around me while the people of the state are vicariously engaging in the maintenance of that activity. He's a third party that lives at the venue going to federal prison. The third party in the Volkswagen comes onto the grounds of the venue to engage in the same exact criminal conduct. Systematic engagement in this criminal system that's threatening the life of an American citizen is equal to what is no less than federal prison. And it's not just going to be a weekend in federal prison. It is currently 5:14 p.m. What you're going to recall is on this same day in 2022 at 5:46, I believe 5:49 p.m., I'm walking out of the Fontana Lewis Library where there is no same sky space, where there would be no sunlight, where there's no vantage point ever, where your shadow would move across a wall at a distance from you. Let me be clear, that's the same demonic conduct that you saw Access engaging in. You're understanding what's the pattern. Light moving, dynamic light while you're crossing path. That's exactly what that demon did. Her person walking in the engineer light is light activity. Her shadow moving across this wall is light activity. That's entirely demonic. A psychopath that engages in that criminal activity while outwardly acting like they are totally unaware of your presence. That's a psychopath. Okay, this is what the secret society is engaging in. All right, I want to be clear. That is Killsaw of 1810 number 1. She's going to federal prison. She can take her aged self right to federal prison. There is no respecter of persons. Understand that. The secret society is relying on your being distracted or focusing on somebody's physical appearance. With regard to what is legally irrelevant, what they look like or what their age is or what their gender is, even their physical handicap. It doesn't matter. The same exact environment, the same exact state, the same exact demonic behavioral pattern. It never changes. And there is no sun over the Fontana Lewis Library, by the way. It's right here over building 1802, where the demons are maintaining light activity, where the demons are sounding sirens and where the demons are flying in helicopters around me. And not, under no circumstances is the sun going to be here after it was here in the morning. And it was also, let me be clear, right here in the same sky space, it was rising. And you have, let's count it together, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 hours. And then the light source moves in real time when I go to my apartment, and that's how you know what a demon is. Okay, that's how you identify a demon. And you're also documenting what is impunity. That's a demon that's patrolling back and forth while he walks to the mailbox to cross path, and then walks back to his vehicle to cross path, uses his vehicle as a means of light and audible activity, and then walking to his apartment to cross path. All engaging what is ongoing surveillance, knowing every move that I make, knowing when I'm getting off of work, knowing what I'm doing inside of my office, waiting for the moment that I walk out, for purposes of surrounding with activity creation while I'm also documenting it. Okay, those demons of 1816 number 3, crossing path, those are demons that are crossing one after another that you saw walking upstairs. This is demonic activity under the light source that's not over the Fontana Lewis Library. And what you'll also remember about that video that is published for you to witness the pattern of conduct that LAPD is literally replicating, that the people of the state are replicating, where there is no shared sky space. And in other words, there's no sunlight that would be touching any of this property if that's the sun hovering over the Fontana Lewis Library. But you know that it's not, because it's also over the Fontana Lewis Library as early as 9 o'clock in the morning. I speak to the pattern of conduct in that video. Listen very closely. The entity is maintaining that specific environment while the Fontana Police Department is stalking by Fontana Police, demonstrating demon possession. An iteration of the same demon possession. Killsaw walks by, her shadow moves across this building. Impossible light activity, a demon stalking in the path with light, state surveillance with the state. That's a psychopath that's going to be subject to mental examinations also. Fontana PD, the same exact officer also, representing the entity, nonetheless the same face, the same demon, arrives at the closing upon my interest to communicate a threat directly, which is exactly what they did right now. That was a threat, sounding sirens and helicopter activity while these demons surround in the path. Understand that. And as I walk out of Fontana Lewis Library, the entity is communicating a threat using the same exact demon-possessed officer who is demonstrating demon possession while impossible light moves on the ground while he's moving his vehicle, okay? And then you're looking at the people of the state, demons that are in the parking lot in relevant position. Pay attention to the engineer light that's on the driver's side of her car while she's driving. Light does not ricochet backwards. You're looking at all the methods of the same exact pattern. While she's crossing path, light you're going to see illuminating the driver's side of her car. Impossible light. Where is that coming from? Oh, is it ricocheting off of the vehicles? Is that what sunlight does? No. And is this even the sun? No. It's over the Fontana Lewis Library at the same time. That's a demon. Okay? And that's the malice of the demon possessed. This is the secret society. This is terrorism and criminal surveillance of a supposed free citizen in the state of California. We're literally supposed to be the leader in this country, the leader of freedom, the leader in all regards. I want to let you know that we're not. The only way that California is leading, I want to be clear, they're leading with regard to the ways in which they're going to learn how federal prosecution, and it's also relevant to what a RICO charges, a prosecution under RICO laws, and the system of criminal surveillance is directly tethered to that. That's how they're leading in the country. They're going to be the first that's placed on the map with regard to that. Okay, that's the only way. I want to be clear. This is terrorism that's underway in the United States. And it's not ordinary criminal conduct and hypocrisy that's being demonstrated, that's being exposed. This is demonic activity. Okay, these are people that are living at an apartment complex and want to, by all appearances, desperately want to appear like they're just normal and it's everyday life, living with their kids, coming and going as they please, minding their own business. It could not be farther from the truth. When your shadows are appearing away from you at a distance, that's a demon that is monitoring you, that is stalking you, and a whole psychopath that wants to outwardly compose themselves as though they're doing something other than that. But it's unpersuasive under the light source. It's unpersuasive amongst that light activity, and it's unpersuasive amongst the entity that is stalking obsessively by helicopters. And you're going to prosecute for that level of malice. That's terrorizing to the ordinary target individual who does not have any vocabulary to describe what they're subject to, who does not have any documentation or likely not even the presence of mind to document it. There is no existing policy or case law to prosecute it. It doesn't exist, and that's not a coincidence. You're going to prosecute for the malice. You're going to prosecute for the ways in which the ordinary target individual is tormented in all the ways that are relevant to their everyday life and the workplace, in their everyday life, every public place that they go, which are nothing other than facilitating venues. There was no sun over the Fontana Lewis Library today. There was no sun while I was on Route 61, as I documented in 2022 on the same exact day. There is no sun that's over Alvarado Gardens from the duration of the day, for the duration of the day. This is a light source. This is a demonic imitation of the natural environment, while they are clearly stalking, flying over me 17 times in the day today. Let me count it again. Hold on. From 4:50 in the morning as I captioned on video, until the last time I noted, which was 3:56 p.m. That is 17 times, from 4:50 in the morning until the last time I noted 3:56 p.m. And let me be clear, that's not counting the entity that is stalking by amplification using planes. You saw that black plane fly right over my office while that was hours earlier, and the light source is still here while the entity is stalking at another commercial airport. That's the pattern of conduct. Well, you saw the light source referencing documentation today that I published, that I shared. The light source is supposedly over the Ontario airport. No, it's not. The Ontario airport venue where they're engaged in state surveillance, which is demonic activity, and they're going to be civilly. While I was subject to that pattern of conduct at the same venue, by the way, pay attention to the venues, the videos that I published. I was at the Ontario airport, as I've shared, in the morning. Another video that I shared today, I was at that same Ontario airport in the afternoon, on the same bus route, Route 61. The entity is maintaining a specific environment over me at all times of the day, which is exactly what you see here. That's why it's rising and setting at the same address. This is going to result in federal prison. Everybody here is going to federal prison. The people of the state are going to be treated in the identical manner, where they are monitoring and stalking, placing under surveillance in the demented ways that you just saw Kill-Saw demonstrate, in a specific environment where they are acting directly with the state that uses helicopters and police, fire, and ambulance to place you under surveillance. Engaging that demented, psychotic stalking system, you will land yourself in federal prison, period. Any children that you're in custody of, you're going to lose those children while you've made them sex offenders and terrorists and stalkers. And I want to be clear, the entity has done this. I've captured a lot of people. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that are going to federal prison. There is no statute of limitations. And every time that I documented the entity stalking with the police, when they thought that no one was ever going to hear about it, they're going to find out, the federal government's going to reach out to them, and they're going to federal prison. This is intolerable criminal conduct by the people of the state, in the state of California. So the world needs to understand what's going on in the state of California, and it helps you understand what's going on around you. All right, that is amplified audible activity. That's demonic pacing on Alvarado. I want to be clear, this is engineered light that's touching a neighboring property. There's no sun over this venue address for the duration of the day. That's engineered light. Just like that's engineered light moving across the building over here in the shade. Very subtle methods of light activity. The entity is maintaining a presence criminally, and everybody in that apartment complex is going to be prosecuted. Everybody in relevant position on these streets, on Brandon, on Alvarado, on Glendale, they're going to be prosecuted. Everybody living on this hillside is going to be prosecuted. Everybody living in Alvarado Gardens is going to federal prison. All right, it is currently 5:23 p.m. This is P.O.C.